What's going on, everyone? This is City Wrestling Radio, and this is the B Show. I'm your host, Corey Smith. I'm just hanging out here in the Diamond Studio, chilling with my co-host of the day through the magical, wonderful ways of the internet and Zoom. Mr.
They said it wouldn't be possible. But here I am. Here we are in the midst of a global pandemic, right next to each other, in our homes. How did we get here, Corey?
Some people at one point would say this is witchcraft, but not today because we know what technology is. So,
yeah, you show somebody from the Puritan times just a laptop, they'd be like, "We should kill this person." Yeah, we should probably kill this person.
I mean, that would be my reaction if someone just pulled out a laser gun.
Great start, man. Great start.
Mr. Michael Vergara, how are you today, sir?
I'm okay. I'm wearing my PlayStation hoodie for all the podcast listeners who are vision impaired. I'm getting ready for the PlayStation 5 games lineup. I got my DualShock 4 ready with the back buttons attached to it. Look at that fancy thing. And I'm just super freaking excited.
Do the back buttons do something?
They're just additional buttons.
Additional buttons?
Well, no, it's just like, hey, I want to map this left one. I want to map this button to the X button, so I don't have to keep my finger or my thumb away from the right analog stick to press X, right? So you just press this while you still maintain control of the right analog stick, and it's great. It's great for games like Doom.
Okay, all right, nice. I mean, that's probably why I can never win in online games because I don't have things like that.
It's good to have a hierarchy. It's like running a wrestling promotion. It's good to have losers sometimes. That's why Brandon Cutler has a job. That's why Peter Avalon has a job.
Yes, because they play video games?
No, because they lose. You need to have a...
Nonetheless. Well, this is the B Show, and we're not here to really... we talk a little bit about whatever you want. But we're here to talk about AEW Dynamite and NXT from last night, along with some news in the world of professional wrestling. But before we get into all of that... don't forget to like, share, and subscribe at CWR415, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It's right there on the bottom if you're watching here on the video. If not, just remember it. Write it down at CWR415 because we are on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And we post
no one has ever made that joke before. Like, hey, look at that thing. Just right here. It's right there, you guys.
It is if you're watching the videos down there. If you're watching on YouTube, guys, don't forget to subscribe. Click the little notify button because it really does help boost the profile of City Wrestling Radio. If you want more up-to-date content, breaking news, and the top professional journalism minds that City College of San Francisco has to offer, you need to click notify and subscribe. At least in the world of professional wrestling.
Oh yeah, no, we're pioneers. We're pioneers. We're trailblazers in this regard.
At City Wrestling Radio, we are probably 3 of 4 of the smartest wrestling minds at City College of San Francisco.
No, my math checks out on that one. Sure, why not?
Guys, like I said, at CWR415. Well, let's get into it. I guess we should talk some news because apparently every week we have to talk about somebody passing away now, and it's not, a joke. It's just,
hey, wrestling's been around for a very long time, Corey.
It has been.
Hey, just by in this story in particular, it's not by virtue. It's just the world's going to keep turning, and this particular case, Well, what happened, Corey?
Yeah, Johnny Walker, better known as 70s and 80s star Mr. Wrestling 2, passed away at the
great name
85. Both names were great.
Name.
Johnny Walker. I mean, that's his name. That's his birth name. Johnny Walker.
And yet he decided to do Mr. Wrestling too, which, fair game.
Name of a whiskey?
Yeah.
Walker.
That's also a name of a UFC fighter.
Okay. See, look at that. We passed away at the age of 85. Born John Francis Walker in Charleston, North Carolina. He made his debut in 1955 and worked.
He was originally called Rubber Man.
Was he?
Yeah.
I like that, the Rubber Man. And if he came down to Rubber Band,
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Yeah. But yeah, he passed away. And I mean, he's way before my time.
Oh, yeah.
He is, but he's credited to have such great feuds with like Ric Flair, Magnum TA, Dusty Rhodes for a little bit. So,
Inventor,
and
he
even
innovated the knee lift.
and
So
even
people
Mr. Wrestling
who,
won.
yeah, he innovated the knee lift. So for people who want to know where moves come from, if you want to know the knee lift, it's Mr. Wrestling 2. He's more than that, but as far as we know.
Condolences to the family and friends of Mr. Wrestling 2, Mr. Johnny Walker.
Meltzer brought up a really interesting point in regards to just wrestler deaths in general. Like he brought up the point where there's a generation of there's a generation of wrestlers who just straight up just die way too young. It's like he said, you're either gonna die way too young or way too old, which is a weird way of saying that. It's just there's kind of nothing in between at this point. Like Mr. Wrestling, he's an old guy. Like he passes away at age 85. Like he's had a run, but then you like there are other countless others who just pass away like at the age of 40 because God damn it, they're wrestlers. So he also said the fact that like this current generation, barring any horrible accidents, knock on wood, like this might have like the highest lifespan of any generation.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Which I think it's I think it's just due to the fact that the generation prior has been so volatile, like just volatile in that regard.
Yeah.
That it has to the pendulum is just gonna have to swing the other way because we are cognizant of that fact. It's it's quite a profession.
Yeah. So 85. I mean, I think the 85 is. I'm not gonna sit here and be like it's a good age. It's unfortunate that
it's never a good time. I mean,
yeah, exactly. But 85, it's good. It's a good number of years. It's 15 away from 100. It can be rounded up to 100 very easily. I will say that. You know what I mean? So,
85, 100. What does 15 years make a difference?
So I'm saying it's not like passing away at the age of 45, 55.
Yeah. One interesting fact was that I'm reading this off postwrestling.com by way of John Pollock. A famous story that always was brought up was that Jimmy Carter's mother, Lillian, was a massive fan of Walker.
Yes, I heard about this.
And would go watch him wrestle in Columbus, Georgia. This led to a relationship between Walker and the Carter family. That included Walker being invited to the Carters' presidential inauguration in January 1977. Walker did not attend and always cited the fact that the Secret Service wanted him to not wear the mask, and he wouldn't make that concession. So he wouldn't attend the inauguration because they wouldn't allow him to wear a mask, which,
apparently one story Meltzer told was that what was her name?
Lillian
Carter.
You were about to say Garcia.
No, I was not, but nonetheless, she I guess when he was invited to their house one time, she was in a room with him and she asked him once, she goes like, can I see you without the mask?
Ooh. Can I see it?
And
I see it.
And I think now it's all, I can't remember what he said, but I think it was, he showed her, but then he couldn't ever go to any events. Like she never asked again. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, very protective.
Oh no, he said no. That's what it is. He said no.
Clearly, like whenever you wear a mask in wrestling, you keep that on no matter what.
Yeah. That's what the story was. Is he said no, and she was very respectful of it, and she was like, okay. She I feel like Lillian Carter, she would have been a big fan of City Wrestling Radio. She would listen to us every day.
Bold statement. You're really shooting for the fences here, man.
I'm just putting it out there, man.
Lillian Carter, if you're somehow still listening, we're thinking about you.
Hey, we're with you, girl. Anyways, yeah. So, Mr. Wrestling 2, it's like I said, condolences.
Rest in peace.
Rest in paradise and peace and peaceful paradise. Shall we? And let's move on to some more news. I guess some good news, I suppose.
Oh, it's about time. What give it to me straight, Corey.
We have the return of New Japan Pro Wrestling, Michael.
Glory, hallelujah.
Because you were telling me all about this because you here are the New Japan Pro Wrestling expert at City Wrestling Radio. And yeah, it's great to see the New Japan Cup has been announced. The Together Project, which is going to be their first show back. The
That's what I want. That is the word that we really need to labor on in the middle of a pandemic. Together, we're just gonna scrunch everybody up together and just really just
I think we need to
next to each other.
A lot of things going on in the world, and despite the pandemic, we need to remember that we need to be together in one, at least mindfulness, mindfulness of one another.
Yeah, remember Together, that boy band?
Together, you and me forever. You're the one I treasure.
Calculus. It's you plus me equals us. It's just a matter of fact.
And what was the and then there was their rival band where they had the song "Rub One Out."
Oh my God! What was their name? Was Chris I remember Chris Farley's brother was a part of the band. Yeah, I always thought that was hilarious. Anyway, New Japan
kid who I believe had cancer was in.
He was
like legit had cancer,
and then he passed away, and then they just stopped. The show kind of ran its course.
Yeah. I just ended all the good news, right? Well, New Japan Pro Wrestling's back. Let's look at some of the details with New Japan. Like I said, they announced the Together Project, which is happening on June 15th. I can't remember where. I believe in Japan. But then
Osaka Joe, right? Osaka Joe Hall?
No, Osaka Joe Hall is going to be the final of the New Japan Cup, and
that's my New Japan wrestler name, Osaka Joe.
It's Osaka Joe. I mean, it's kind of like Samoa. Never mind. Anyways, but yeah,
I have the bullet point. I have the bullet points right here.
Yeah, I was okay.
Go for it. So it includes 2 events at Osaka Joe Hall on July 11th and 12th, my brother's birthday,
which is the Dominion Cup final and Dominion.
Yeah, and it will be open to 1/3 of its capacity, or roughly 4,000 fans. That's still a lot of people. Wrestlers will take their temperature.
Joe Hall is pretty big.
Yeah, wrestlers will take their temperature twice daily when they wake up and go to bed, and will be logs of dates, place, and people they are in physical contact with. Any symptoms related to COVID-19 will result in the wrestler quarantining. New Japan has a medical affairs committee that trainers can report to as they monitor wrestlers, limited staff, wrestlers, and press at events. That means we can't go, Corey. Sorry.
Wait, press is not allowed?
No, it's limited press.
Oh.
So you're going to hear less camera flickers. Pre-screening and won't allow those in with a consistent fever of 37.5 Celsius and other symptoms consistent with the virus. Those involved must make a legal declaration that they are complying with the policy. Me, Tama Tonga, must declare. I do declare that I do not have COVID.
I am a member of the Bowling Club.
Mandatory masks, temperature checks, use of disinfectants, submit contact details, limiting the amount of time in the venue, limit contact with the others in the building, and if speaking to keep a 2-meter distance. This includes keeping loud cheers to a minimum during the show. No autograph sessions. So or meet and greets. Merchandise will be sold and are recommending credit cards to limit cash being extended, and will have a transparent shield in place. So yeah, get your credit card ready, and hope you don't what is it, like hold up the line when you're trying to buy that belt. No areas for smoking in the buildings.
Yeah, make sure that that transition is approved by your bank beforehand, before you try to buy a $500 belt, because it will decline.
Oh my God!
At least they make you wait on the side.
Interviews will be canceled or limited to New Japan's official interviewer. Individually packed food in lieu of catering will be used for the wrestlers, with their names printed on the packages of food for each individual. They are going above and beyond here. Fans are asked to write down their contact details on the back of their ticket to submit upon entry, or on a separate form for e-ticket buyers, and New Japan will hold on to this information for 1 month. That's fucking insane. But hey, you gotta be in these unprecedented times.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean...
Well, these are the guidelines. It's not necessarily their schedule, but you do have the New Japan Cup.
We do have the New Japan
bracket.
Cup. I was about to mention that. I mean, we have, was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6, 7 nights of New Japan Cup. I guess I'll kick it off.
Oh, it's a week.
Spread out. Okay. Let's see. Let's kick it off with the A block. I guess the A block side. Just going to announce the matches. Togi Makabe, Yoda
Sushi.
Sushi. Yeah, I haven't.
Suji.
Tomohiro Ishii, El Desperado, Toriano Jado, Tomohaki Honma, Hiromu Takahashi versus Hiromu Takahashi, Kazuchika Okada versus Gato, Yuji Nagata, Minoru Suzuki, Yuji Yamura. What, Yuji Nagata and Suzuki?
That is quite the match to put on your first round. I guess yeah, go ahead.
Yuya Yamura versus Yoshinobu Kanemaru, and Gabriel Kidd versus Taiji Ishimori. You want to go through the B block?
All right. We got Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Taichi, which I'm going to go out on a limb and say Taichi is beating Hiroshi Tanahashi because Tanahashi, I have a feeling Tanahashi wants to get the fuck out of there as soon as possible, considering his statements regarding this disease.
Does he really have a choice, though? I mean, at a certain point.
He's Tanahashi. He could probably do whatever the fuck he wants. Kota Ibushi versus Zack Sabre Jr., Ryusuke Taguchi versus Sanada, Sho versus Shingo Takagi, which is a rematch of their Best of the Super Juniors Cup, which was a top 5 match of the year contender last year. So I'm excited to see that. Hiroyoshi Tenzan versus Yoshihashi, Yo versus Bushi, Satoshi Kojima versus Evil, and Haruki Goto versus Yujiro Takahashi. Yeah, notable absences: Will Ospreay, Jay White, for obvious reasons.
Did Ospreay go back to England?
Yeah.
Okay, because I thought
he has been bulking. Have you seen recent pictures of that guy? He's
been trolling. He's been trolling everyone with his sleepy time bedroom pics.
Let's just say he's flooring it.
Yeah. He I thought he was living in Japan. That's why.
Well, yeah, but then this shit happened, and so I guess it was just in his best interest to go back to.
Well, I'll be back home with my family.
Yeah,
that's me doing. I lost her.
So, yeah, I don't know. Like, whoever wins, like, people are kind of clamoring for Takahashi to win this, so they can get their Naito match, because that was originally supposed to be like fucking. They were just scheduled to wrestle each other. Of what feels like 3 years ago, but it was actually 3 months ago. So
it would be the smartest thing to do because, I mean,
well, let's see his pathway. So he either is going to face Jado or Suzuki. Like look at his block.
Honma's fine. Yano or Jado is fine. The only problem I could see
Okada's probably winning this
is Ishii. Or Ishii. It's going to be hard because we might have fucking Takahashi versus Ishii, which is going to be a crazy match. And I would say the other side is going to be Okada or Suzuki.
Just be Shingo.
Yeah, it could be Shingo.
I would love it for it to be Shingo. That dude deserves more, but can't push everybody.
And who's winning the other side? Taichi?
I'm gonna say Ibushi finishes him off in the second round. Could be Ibushi,
or it could be Taichi, or was it Takahashi versus Evil?
There's a picture going around of Kota Ibushi in a press conference. First of all, he looks way paler than before, but he also says, "I have saved up my strength for these past 4 months, and when I come back, I will use all of that energy." So. Looking forward to that, and I'm also not looking forward to that.
Yeah, no, keep that guy away from fireworks, first off.
Keep that guy away from any elevated position.
Because he's
keep him away from aprons, which is sort of important in a ring. Just keep him away from wrestling, honestly.
He's a crazy man. But he seems like a nice guy. He's a crazy man to himself. So
I don't know, man. We deserve more Kota Ibushi murder face. We had sneak previews of that in the Dome shows. Oh, man.
Well, one person that's notably absent from New Japan Pro Wrestling is going to be Tiger Mask, because he's going to be out due to chronic diverticulitis.
You said you had this before.
It was either diverticulitis or diverticulosis. I can't remember exactly which one it was.
They both suck, probably.
They both suck. It's the same thing Shane McMahon had that one time.
So what happens to you?
Like when you're it's like because you have like these pores inside your stomach, and it's like when they get filled with something, you know what I mean? They can get filled. Like if you eat like ground up nuts, they say do this. If you eat this a lot, it can get filled in there, and it doesn't come out, and it kind of gets infected. So yeah, he has like infected stomach pores. At least that's what I think it was. At
Oh
least that's what
boy.
they told me. So it was pretty painful though. It was
I bet
you know,
stomach nuts. It does not sound like a pleasant thing.
no, it was not. But nonetheless, I mean
I thought
yep.
this was the first Tiger Mask, and I was like, "Is that guy still wrestling?"
No, this is like what the 26th.
Anyway, get well soon, Tiger Mask.
Get well soon, Tiger Mask. What else you got today, Michael?
MLW, Major League Wrestling, ran by one Court Bowers, recently signed a deal with DAZN streaming service, which, for those of you who aren't in the know about the DAZN, for those of you who are not in the zone about DAZN, it's a streaming service that shows off that specializes in boxing, probably a rugby match here or there. They've been signing deals. They have an exclusivity rights with Canelo Alvarez, which is a very, very famous boxer. I think they have Triple G on their payroll as well. But
yeah, and you remember they almost had WWE at one point because remember WWE was like showing these exclusive DAZN ads.
Yeah.
So I mean, they were in talks with WWE at one point. I mean,
so yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting where what DAZN approach sees MLW and how MLW is kind of just running their promotion, and it's a big get for them. It's quite impressive. The thing is, there's really nothing about MLW that's just really selling. They have good names.
Yeah.
Ones that I can't remember right now. As I say that. Yeah. Jacob Fatu. Yes. That was on the tip of my tongue. Yeah.
The rest of Contra.
So, with this deal, let's hope they ramp things up in terms of production and really just get
Is it MJF from MLW?
He had a contract with them. I think they kind of, I don't know. There was a handshake deal going on, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. I just heard something about the handshake on NPR yesterday. Very interesting story, by the way.
Is it terrible? Are the implications?
It's called the Ode to the handshake.
You mean ode? Like ODE?
You know what? Tomato.
I mean, I'm sure that was the way it was originally spelled. I mean, pronounced, but
anyway.
Yeah. You want to talk about CM Punk and AJ Styles potentially?
Sure.
Potentially feuding. They're just kind of just side-eyeing each other.
They just don't like each other.
So last week on WWE Backstage, there was a CM Punk. He ostensibly just, poured out his thoughts on the whole racial issues that are ongoing in America and will continue to go on as well. He was talking about the death of George Floyd, and then he took to Twitter and tweeted out, a lot of people snitching, and I quote, a lot of people snitching on themselves. When people tell you who they are, believe it. Might be unfortunate and disappointing if you're a fan of that person or if it's your grandmother, but fuck them. Goodbye. I yield my time. Fuck you, which is a reference to this LAPD conference call that is just fucking 6 hours of people venting on the LAPD. It is fucking hilarious. Yeah. I recommend that. It's probably gone viral. So that was a tweet in response of a Twitter user talking about AJ Styles. I'm like, his in regards to his inaction to mentioning, the Black Lives Matter movement and the like. So,
hey, I'll play video games with Xavier. Come on.
So Styles responds, "I will not react at all. Coming from a guy that I don't have any respect for anyway, it doesn't really matter. Look at my job as a performer." Look, my job as a performer is to perform and get the mind of all things that have happened throughout the world. I'm not going to react to people saying ridiculous and stupid things. That kind of, that is AJ Styles' stance on these certain things. It's definitely not a good look.
No.
In my opinion, some might say he's putting his head in the sand in regards to these issues, and you're kind of, when you say nothing, you're also saying a lot of things.
Silence is
silence. There's a complicity to it, especially in these times. I definitely understand. Not understand, but I can see where AJ is coming from, because I was always like, throughout high school, I was always just kind of like, I don't know much politics. I'm just not going to even bother to like engage with this sort of argument, because A, I wouldn't be knowing what I'm talking about, and B, I just don't really care. And as time went on, the older I get, I kind of came to a point realizing, like, dude, like, maybe this attitude is why we are here in the first place. And so
yeah, definitely.
you would hope that, I would just hope AJ Styles would just listen, you know? That's really kind of just the solution to, well, there's no easy solution for any of this, actually, but one of the best ones is just kind of just listen. Like, did you, the New Day podcast, after you're done listening to this podcast, listen to the New Day WWE posted on their official YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And within the first 4 minutes, you were going to hear the most impassioned, like, speech that Big E, I think, will ever actually produce, because it's coming from the heart, and it's hands down their best, like, one of the best things WWE has produced, because it is a WWE production. That podcast is from WWE's, machine.
Yeah, I think it was, you hear a lot of it, and but 99% of it you hear is like impassionate, but then they're referring to themselves as Big E, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods.
I think that's just for like presentation.
I know.
So yeah,
that's put me off. Yes. Oh, this is WWE production.
So you listen to that New Day podcast.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It is incredible.
It's like you said, it's super impassioned,
sobering.
It gets emotional too, especially Big E gets emotional in it.
And Xavier Woods' story about him having to hang out with a kid who called him the N-word for about a week, and then him learning, like, him saying that was a learning experience, because they eventually became best friends.
Yeah.
And it's quite a story. It is quite a story, and it was quite a podcast. But yeah, AJ Styles, he's kind of showing his cards, and I would hope that's the thing, though. There's enough people in that locker room, and I'll say this about AEW as well, just Chris Jericho, where I would just hope that when they say stuff like that, they would have to go back in the locker room, and I would just hope they would listen to whatever piece they might or might not say. That's all the best you can hope for, man.
And it's like, I wonder what was, it's just weird. It's like, when, I don't know, I guess you can't compare and contrast and be like, well, this person called this person out for this, but it's doing this now. Because it's like, you wonder, it's like all the things Jericho said, or standing up for other it's just weird, it makes you
really, and it also really makes you think the relationship between AJ Styles and CM Punk, because they were on the same road. Like, they didn't necessarily hang out, but then their careers kind of started at the same time, more or less. So they must have crossed roads
at one point,
at one point. Ring of Honor, like, they were probably in the same building, and so
yeah.
So that's also one interesting to look out for. One interesting thing.
So, yeah, I mean that's AJ Styles.
That's AJ Styles. He's the same guy who fucking lost his shit when Kid Rock made that body slam Democrats joke. And then you see
I love it. Yeah.
The Singh brothers, and then the Singh brothers just like not having any of it. That's what it is.
People get called out. Last week we were talking about Jackson Riker, and this week we got AJ Styles. So, I mean, wrestling, like you said, it's a place where he can speak like that and speak openly like that, and it's a lot of people support him. You mean, look at WWE's like Lynn McMahon is part of the campaign to reelect Trump. Even in AEW side, you have you can even say like Shahid Khan donating money to the Trump campaign. And you could sit here and say, oh, it was he's so rich that it's one of those things that you just do.
I mean, Shahid Khan, he pretty much just said, I'm donating because
to inquire
it would get me richer for this guy to get elected, and he has since kind of backpedaled in that regard, because I wonder why you would backpedal your support for Donald Trump. I don't know, man.
Well,
Uh,
to support somebody to get richer is kind of selfish nonetheless. So,
yep.
but
Yep.
AJ Styles, like I said, he could speak openly like that, and it's fine because he probably has the support of his company behind him. So it's okay. It's fine.
I'll just say that CM Punk, he knows one person named AJ who hates him. He knows one person named AJ who loves him. So
Oh,
yin yang.
yeah, there we go. Maybe that's what maybe he's like. I need to complete the yin and yang of my life. I need to call it AJ Styles.
Sad.
Good. He said something. He said something mildly racist. Okay, let me go after him. So I don't know. And you got anything else in the news today? On your
Let's
end?
see. Meltzer just tweeted. Let's see. Oh, it's a Hana Kimura article, which still hurts.
Yeah. But I got some light side of the news today, Michael.
Yep, that's the Vice channel follow up to the Dark Side of the Ring. Light side of the news.
Oh, there we go. Light side of the ring. Hashtag copyright City Wrestling Radio 2020 11:14 a.m.
Come at us, Vice.
What? But so we've heard of gender reveal parties, right? I mean, I'm sure. Have you ever had a gender reveal party?
That's been a thing only recently, I think.
I mean, I think within the last, with the invention of YouTube, you want to think of creative ways to reveal a color. Either blue or pink.
I guess, man. I think it's just another excuse for people to just gather with a bunch of friends and drink.
That's the thing is
except for the pregnant lady.
If my friend ever was like, hey, I want you to talk to my doctor and I want you to know the gender of the baby and reveal it to me in some way, I would make a cake, but I would dye it gray on the inside because I would say we don't dictate what the baby's gender is. They decide eventually what their own gender is.
Just like Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie.
There we go. So I would do something like that because it would really annoy my friend. But nonetheless, he'd be like, God, just tell me the fucking gender. There was
one way you could have just said, like, boy, this coffee is great.
But I guess this past week there was a gender reveal wrestling match that took place somewhere in the United States. But it took place between two wrestlers.
Someone's backyard.
It was a backyard wrestling match. So like I said, it was one promoter who put it on for his friend who worked for him. It was a backyard ring pitting, was it Miles Millennium against Mr. Grimm? And I believe
Twisted Metal. It's good for him. He's no longer destroying buildings with his motorcycle.
Millennium was representing the boys' side, and Grimm was representing the girls' side. Grimm, though, took the pin and the win. This family is Samantha Wright, I believe, is having a baby girl. So it was like baby.
Well, congratulations,
Carlston. Congratulations, guys.
They should do that for Becky Lynch's pregnancy. I'm just gonna straight up steal it.
Oh, and how about the gender reveal rumble?
How would you win that? Like it would just be like a Raw SmackDown brand.
Yeah, and there's just multiple people wearing blue or pink, and you don't.
Then you got Big Show removing his shirt. It was originally girl, but then now it's boy, and yeah.
What? Yeah. That's awesome. Michael, book the match right now. If you want to book Michael for gender reveal parties,
just book Michael.
Contact
in
him,
general,
Mike Vergara man.
So I don't have to stop. So I don't have to do this anymore.
Yeah, pay him. He needs money. Desperate.
Please,
He's got to buy that PS5 somehow.
Yeah.
So I think that's about it for the news today.
I mean, we could do a security sweep on this Twitter.
Well,
I'm just gonna read Twitter for a second. Oh no.
Oh no. Well, usually last week was very Twitter filled.
Like by the time we're done with these fucking podcasts,
Postmates gets free deliveries on chicken sandwiches apparently from Popeyes. That's new to me.
Cool. Anyway, yeah.
Let's move on.
Dynamite, June 10th, 2020. Again, we're at Daly's place, and we're also live, pal. We get a video recap of last week. FTR being separated from Butcher and Blade, Mox confronting Cage, Orange Cassidy facing Jericho, Cody beating Jungle Boy. You know the like. Jericho makes his entrance for commentary with Floyd in hand. The optics are just out of this world with that one.
Floyd's coming out with him. I know he has a last name, damn it.
No, they kind of made a point that they had to say the last name because if it's just Floyd, because like that's, I don't want to say it's a faux
Bat,
pas.
right?
Huh? Yeah, it's named the Bat, but
Bat, yeah, last name the Bat.
I don't know.
Making sure.
Butcher and Blade versus FTR. FTR enters with a truck and an amazing theme song, dude. Like it's great. Like it's like a 70s funky track. It's like they want to call themselves a throwback. This is a throwback of a song. Blade starts with Dax Harwood feeling each other out. Jericho admonishes Tony for swearing at the FTR interview, which is funny because it's Jericho and swearing. He also says FTR is pandering to JR with all the constant tags like it's his birthday. One nice touch that I liked was Cash immediately evening the odds as Dax was cornered during a tag. You know, just using their minds. Jericho references gangs in New York and escape from New York in regards to Butcher's look. Cash fakes a shoulder injury to a roll-up attempt on Butcher. Jericho says this match is not going to have flip-flops or flim-flams. I thought Jericho was great commentary, by the way.
Oh, he's always great on commentary.
Yeah. He was, regardless of what I think of him on a personal level, that dude is he still brings a level of excitement on these shows.
Yeah.
Cash catches Blade with a power slam, hot tag to Dax, and jabs Blade with a series of jabs. Dragon screws to both Butcher and Blade. Dax brainbusters to Blade in front of Tully Blanchard and Arn in the crowd. Double cradle DDT to Butcher. Cash tags for the powerplex, which is a superplex, and then followed up with an elbow or splash. Kind of looked weird. It's from the other side. We see a shot of Tully taking notes, who is distant away from Sean Spears. And you see also Arn Anderson in the distance as well, which, interesting.
Brainbusters versus FTR.
Yeah. Full Death is stopped. Goodnight Express to Butcher, formerly known as the Magic Killer. Mindbreaker to Blade. Yep. Mindbreaker to Blade, which is pretty much the Indie Taker without the flip.
Yeah.
Pin, win, welcome back FTR. I thought this match was great. It was this was
too long.
It was only like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I know. It felt too long.
No, this match, I really liked it. The way FTR was working in this sort of, environment, this sort of promotion. It was a sight for sore eyes. I was really looking forward to how, they did not change a thing in regards to their style. And I think they'll be right at home.
I don't know. I don't like this. Like if I want to see a tag team beat every team on the way to the Young Bucks, I want to see them dominate every team on the way to the Young Bucks, not this. They're trying to
They're not
get by every match because they seem like they got by in that match and they earned that win, but they seem like they got by. Not
you would also want them to work as well, and in order to work a match, you would also have
but
you'd have to tip the hand a little bit.
I see them be more dominating. They're FTR.
Yeah, but then they're also Butcher and the Blade. They're good workers, and you would want to let the musicians play their music, as they would say, as Cody would say all the fucking time in his interviews. And it worked here. I really liked it. I thought it was a great match, and FTR just they're back in business, boys. Yeah. Tony post-match interview. Dax says it's the pinnacle of I don't know if it's the pinnacle or we're the pinnacle. I'm just going to assume it says we're the pinnacle. We're the pinnacle of tag team wrestling. And then the Young Bucks enter the ring and congratulate them and thanks them for saving them from the attack. Matt says FTR failed to properly introduce themselves to them. Matt then aggressively says the Young Bucks have been carrying tag team wrestling for the decade, which, maybe. Yeah, you could say the decade. You can claim that. Before anything else happens, Butcher attacks the Bucks, and FTR fight off Butcher and Blade. Sabian and Havoc enter the fray. Kenny Omega runs to the ring as Adam Page just casually strolls with a drink in hands, like, yeah, no, I'll catch up to you. Yeah, yeah. And all three teams, Omega, Page, Bucks, and FTR, just stare at each other. And I thought this was just a big look at this division segment, which, man, once you really get once you get to have a chance to really just look at what they have, it's fucking AEW is fucking stacked. AEW is fucking stacked.
in the tag, this little tag team thing.
Yeah, best friends. You still got best friends. You still have the Lucha Bros, the Death Triangle. Fuck, man, They got people. They got people.
They
It
got
makes
the
me
people.
like not all of them are in there, but eventually they will be, and it's just it.
Hopefully soon.
Yeah, sooner than later. Dasha's with the Natural Nightmares. They face Paige and Omega for the tag titles next week. I don't know why. Brandy questions Allie and why she gets a family jacket, especially with her name on it. Dustin says he needs QT in the game and to get Allie out of his system, and she won't be ringside. And
I love how they never say that that's his girlfriend. He says, "It's my girl."
It's just a
girl.
She just comes off as like a shoulder piece, which, I don't know.
It's a swerve.
Yeah, of course it's a swerve. Of course she's like a spy for this organization. It's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, Butcher and Blade are going to cost them the tag titles next week, or she's going to cost them the tag titles.
She's going to do something.
Yeah,
she has to do something.
Yeah, and then it's going to be the Natural Nightmares and Brandy versus the Butcher, Blade, and Bunny at Fyter Fest.
Killer Bees. Penelope Ford and Nyla Rose versus Hikaru Shida and Chris Statlander. Jericho loses his fucking mind at the sight of Pineapple Pete as he gets booped. As he gets booped by Statlander. Yeah, what?
Happy birthday, Hikaru Shida, yesterday. Or 2 days ago, whichever day you're watching.
I hope she gets a nice kendo stick.
But yeah, no, Pineapple Pete. They need to get his win back on Jericho.
They shouldn't be giving out wins against Jericho.
No. One day, just especially if Jericho has some sort of like he's losing everything, the inner circle breaks up, he loses millions of dollars or something, and then all of a sudden he has to have a match against Pineapple Pete, and I think they're stacked against him.
Well, I think one way to go about it is Pineapple Pete should just kind of reclaim his name as Suge D. Like, Jericho, my name is Suge D, not Pineapple Pete. Like, I will wear that on my sleeve, and that's what got me to connect the audience. But I'm here to let you know that I want success on my own. I'm on my own terms, and I wonder
how many Pineapple Pete shirts he actually sold.
Oh yeah, no, like financially, it's benefiting him tenfold to a point where I feel like he should keep Pineapple Pete. But all four women beat on each other. Stat is double teamed, but fights them off both. Single leg drop to Nyla. Single leg, you know what I mean. Quick tags between Shida and Stat, probably tape studying the match before. Very good exchange between Stat and Rose. Jericho acknowledges Baker and Rebel, as he calls her Reba. All three guys instantly correct him saying Rebel, which I thought that was funny. Elevated knee strike to Rose. Top rope missile drop kick to Ford. All from Shida. Hot tag. JR pays memory to Mr. Wrestling 2, which we discussed earlier. Ford suplexes Stat and lands right on the top of her head. Just did not look good. Ford stunners Stat. Shida knees Ford. Superplex to Rose. Stat with a big axe kick to Rose. 2 count. Rose cradles Shida and Stat on the top rope and double knees the back of both of their heads. Whoa. I thought that looked freaking awesome. And they landed like in tandem with each other as well. Right. They set Shida up for a powerbomb. Stat stops it. Shida knees Rose. Sabian grabs Shida's leg. Like, so much shit happens. Like, I just could not keep up. Ford gets the title. Whacks Hikaru Shida with it. Followed with a fisherman suplex for the pin and win. Yeah. Penelope Ford pinning the champion. Fyter Fest.
Yeah.
That seems to be the logical conclusion.
She needs a competition for Fyter Fest.
It should be a good match. I think Penelope Ford has been improving a lot. In fact, no, I thought this tag match was actually like really awesome because you can see, like it kind of makes an argument for stuff like house shows because the amount of times these women have been wrestling each other, you can see their chemistry really organically growing. Like they granted there was a little bumps on the road, but you can see these women just having great matches with one another. Mm-hmm. And I thought this was great. And like it always is. Darby Allin video.
I'm injured. Says, jump off of ladders.
He says he's not medically cleared to wrestle, but then out and about, because of course he appears. As somebody who's been playing the second and third Tony Hawk games way more than I usually do because, considering what's going on. Tony Hawk appears. He has a cameo and he says, "Oh, you don't need a doctor's note. You don't need a medical clearance to fucking skateboard and fall off a ladder. trying to land on a skateboard. You could try killing yourself here.
Yeah. So that must be
a
work injury then.
Yeah. Darby tries to land with his skateboard off a ladder like the idiot that he is, but eventually lands it. And yeah, a lot of Tonys in AEW.
Tony Schiavone, Tony Khan,
and Tony Hawk. They're
Tony
gonna form they're gonna form a stable.
Tony.
Yeah, it's gonna be fuck.
It'll be an R&B group.
I'm trying to think of a Tony pun, whatever. Tony pun, Tony Khan. Britt Baker video highlighting her struggles and all that. It was more of the same. It wasn't really that special. I just think it was a way to throw in a commercial.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, we have 30 seconds we have 2 minutes to kill. We got that Britt Baker video, right? Let's just throw it on there.
Yeah.
Inner Circle members Jake Hager and Proud and Powerful versus Best Friends and Orange Cassidy. Pearl Harbor to Best Friends as OC is being thrown around by Hager as they build heat on Trent. Jericho says OC is getting beat up by the 15-year-old version of himself.
That's pretty good.
This is really good. OC is laying around the stage as Best Friends are getting the heat from Santana. Tope Con Hero from Chuck to Inner Circle peeps. Hager prevents Chuck and Trent from giving the people what they want, which is always guaranteed heat from me. Come on, man. They need that wide angle shot at least once. Vader bomb from Hager. Jericho suggests calling this the Hager bomb, which is fair.
Oh.
We get back from commercial. Orange Cassidy is fully downloaded. He does everything to everyone as Jericho helplessly watches. Slam from Hager to OC, but is stopped by Best Friends. OC then cradles Ortiz for the upset win. I thought, this match had a purpose. I didn't really think of it anything special. I think that's what happens whenever I see Jake Hager on screen, which I'll get to later in the show. But yeah, I think the whole takeaway from this match was the post-match, Jericho brings Floyd to beat up Best Friends for their heat back. Jericho brings a bag of blood oranges and loads about 20 pounds of it inside one bag and then smashes OC's head with it. And I just thought, Corey, what would you rather have get beat up by? A bag full of oranges or a fucking baseball bat?
1, 2, 3. Carry the 3. I would say oranges.
I would take the oranges as well.
Oh, okay.
This was absolutely ridiculous, dude. This whole segment.
Well, Jericho,
what'd you think of it?
Jericho wanted to be ironic about his beating. It was funny.
Yeah, no, and then he takes the irony even further when he takes a fucking apple and just eats it like a goddamn orange. Like he doesn't even bother peeling it. He just straight up just eats the skin.
You mean he eats orange like an apple?
Yeah, he eats an orange like an apple.
Yeah, that was weird and gross.
Jericho, those are 2 words you can describe Jericho.
Weird and gross.
I mean, yeah, because
Yeah.
Tony is about to interview Billy Gunn, but is interrupted by MJF. He had a really good line saying, "Oh yeah, no, I'm going to interrupt this because I know this is I'm going to interrupt this clearly interesting segment." Which, fair play to MJF. I don't think I don't think a Tony Schiavone interview with Billy Gunn would be that interesting. Yeah. He calls out the favoritism as Jungle Boy got a title shot, not him. He calls himself a great white shark in a sea of minnows. Billy Gunn then steps in saying, "You're talking to a great white shark," and then grabs MJF. MJF asks for Wardlow's help, and they all stare at each other for what seems to be a match between them next week.
Seems like Billy Gunn's other son now has a job with
Gunn and Son.
He has 2 sons now working for AEW. Because MJF said he goes, now you got your other son working here, and there was a second kid that came up that was looked just like Billy Gunn.
They seem like I think I said this before, but they seem like best friends, dude. They seem like they're like.
They seem like if Billy Gunn was single.
It's like they come off like every time, every show, they're right next to each other into this front row, and they are like the most energetic, most positive forces of nature that you could possibly ask for. It's not as easy as you think. Like being at those shows and just retaining that same amount of energy week after week. Yeah. Gunn and Son. Let's see how they fare. We get a recap of Cabana versus Jericho and Brody Lee helping out Cabana after the loss, and which leads us to our match: Sammy Guevara versus Colt Cabana. Sammy is still with this hit.
Not in the fuck with.
Sammy's still with his hit me up mobile, which, you know, you would think, does
really
that mean
doesn't need.
he doesn't really need it if he's cleared to compete. Cabana messes with the hit me up mobile as Sammy looks on angrily. They start flipping each other off. Chops to Sammy. Cabana slips off a Chicago skyline. Sammy capitalizes it with the GTH, which is, I don't know what the H stands for, but yeah, Sammy Guevara pinning Colt Cabana with a GTS, which, you know, poetry.
Yeah.
As one might say.
Well,
it
is. It works into the story well because now he got beat with this finisher move that brings back all these painful memories.
Yeah.
You
No.
know?
Yeah. Clearly, it's clearly a sign that
his life.
it's clearly a sign of that CM Punk return.
He needs guidance. No, he needs guidance. Yeah. He's so lost now because it reminds him of losing his best friend and being sued by his best friend. Anyways.
Post-match, Evil Uno and Grayson and the rest of the Dark Order, including Brody Lee, approach Colt and help him up to his feet. JR says there might be a metaphor going forward, which...
Evil Uno, Stu Grayson's player 2. There's a number... Who's number 3?
Silver.
3 and 4 are Silver and the other guy, right?
Alex Reynolds.
And then there's number 5.
And then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then there's 10, which we haven't seen much of lately. Maybe he was in that crowd and I just missed him.
I think he was. I think he's the one who has a long jacket. I think. But anyway,
yeah. Colt then follows them into the heel side of the entrance, which I never really noticed that. Like, there's each side of the entranceway. Like the faces go on one side, the heels go on the other. Like I did not notice that until now.
Yeah.
So, you know, just like what JR says, there might be a metaphor going forward.
Yeah, he's lifting him up. Does that mean he's going to lift him up in life too? JR, this isn't WWE. You don't have to spell everything out for everyone. Sorry.
Yeah, you know, it's where he came from. Matt then comes out and, oh, wait, no. I might have missed here. Let me just try to find my notes. Yeah. Sammy then gets the mic and brags about his victory. Matt Hardy then comes out and says he has respect for Sammy, and then no matter how many times he gets murdered, he gets back up, which fair play to Sammy. Matt then goes through all his gimmicks. He does the matter of facts. He does the broken Damascus thing as he tells Sammy to maximize his potential by leaving Chris Jericho. Yeah. We seem to be getting a Matt Hardy, Sammy Guevara program out of this.
Well, it seems like Matt Hardy respects Sammy Guevara, but Damascus does not.
Yeah. This is sort of interesting. You kind of have Matt Hardy in this whole mentor role, knowing like he's sort of like the dad. Yeah, he's sort of like the dad in a party. Like, hey, how do you do, kids? What's going on with this hip hoppity music? And I think it's a good spot for Guevara. I think it's way too soon for him to be having any hint of leaving Inner Circle. I think that's way too soon. And also, it's hard for me to believe that Sammy Guevara is not living up to his potential without Chris Jericho, which, you know, have you seen him? It's what made him a star in the first place.
It is, yeah.
It's crazy. But that seems to be the direction they're taking.
Tag team with Scarlett Bordeaux in AAA. So.
Didn't they? And they also commented. They did commentary, which, you know, it's about as well as you'd expect from two millennials doing commentary.
Kids today, right?
Yeah, it's crazy where these guys are with where Sammy Guevara and Scarlett Bordeaux are
AEW.
Now. It's crazy.
I know.
Joey Janela video. He's drinking at a bar and thinks about his failures. They show the CZW Zandig spot where he fucking falls like 30 feet off a building into a bunch of light tubes.
Well, it seems like this whole thing was like an 80s video.
It was Drive. It was pretty much it was Drive.
Yeah. It was like an 80s like feel to it, like Hollywood Boulevard or Sunset Boulevard.
with the vapor wave music.
Like, I lost it all. I used to have it. Have I lost it?
Yeah, he runs into Sonny Kiss driving a convertible as they drive around like it's a Kavinsky video. To be continued.
Oh, I hope they're a tag team.
Yeah, glad they're doing something with these guys. It's this Sonny Kiss on Dynamite. I hope we see more of them.
Yeah, and one hell of a convertible.
Yeah, it's crazy. We get Dasha talking to Colt Cabana. He gets into the room of Brody Lee. That was pretty much it.
So, like we said before, the only way this will work is if Colt Cabana, the only thing that changes about him, hey, look at that. I'm getting all these tips now. Sorry, I got distracted. If Colt Cabana keeps pretty much everything the same except for just change Colt, like his theme song will be like boom, boom, Dark Order, boom, boom. He'll come out with just the mask on and his thing will say Dark Order.
He's going to become so annoying that Dark Order is going to try to kick him out.
And they can't kick him out because they're like, well, no, now he's a part of it. Now he knows the inner workings. We can't.
They have to go with it.
What's up? I'm number 6. So that
doesn't change a single thing.
He wears a mask and his clothes are darker. But everything about his style and how he acts is
same time next Wednesday, you guys. All right, cool.
Hey guys, I'll see you all here.
Lee, I could just wait. Like honestly, like I'm staring at the cheeseburger, but I'll wait after you. Just can't believe I'm here.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's I don't know. It kind of does seem that they're gonna do the serious role with Colt Cabana, the way he entered that room and how he was.
It has to be. What I'm thinking is like Daniel Bryan joined the Wyatt family.
You mean it's going to last like 2 weeks?
It'll last a little longer, but it's going to be essentially the same thing. Where he's going to join, and then he's going to be convinced to leave, and then he's going to, boom, boom.
We'll see how it goes. It's still a mid-card storyline, and I'm glad there is one.
Yeah.
Alex Marvez is outside with champion Jon Moxley. He's in a bad mood because Taz is talking shit, and that Brian Cage is going to beat him at Fyter Fest. I was paraphrasing. He doesn't actually say shit. Saying if he was trying to get under his skin, it worked. He says he's a miserable son of a bitch and that the mere idea that anybody can beat him pisses him off, makes him more violent, less apologetic. Taz then jaw-jacks Moxley for the distraction of Cage, which leads to the distraction of Cage beating up Moxley. Mox fights back, but eventually Cage fights back as well and slams Moxley into the back of the car. There was a really funny joke from Rewind to Dynamite, Post Wrestling's Rewind to Dynamite, where what it should have been was that car that Moxley should have been that got slammed into, that should have been Colt Cabana's car.
No.
Where it just cuts to him just like going to like as he's like, tough day at work, and then he just goes to his car and it's just being smashed like, oh man.
Oh boy.
Wah, wah. He's like the Butters of wrestling. Who's the Butters of wrestling? It's probably Daniel
Colt Cabana right now.
It has to be.
Yeah.
We just has to, We got Cody. We got a Cody video going over.
I was gonna say it used to be Raul Mendoza, but we'll get there.
Yeah. We got a video of Cody going over the idea of defending the title every week and bleeding every week. He didn't bleed this week. So we get highlights of Mark Quinn flipping in the air as he does, which is going to play into the storyline and all that good stuff. Which leads us to our main event, Mark Quinn versus Cody for the TNT Championship. Excuse me. New music for Private Party. I thought this was a bop. I know some people didn't like it, but I like the beginning where it's just, oh my God, is that Private Party?
Oh my God, is that Private Party? Oh my God. Yeah, that was cute. I like
it's a bit more subdued. I get that it's a bit more subdued, but I'm vibing it. I'm vibing it a lot, bro. Matt Hardy huddles for motivation. Again, the cool dad at the party. Hey, guys. Cody with his Pride shirt. All proceeds go to the Trevor Project, so that's nice. Happy Pride Month, by the way. Excalibur then acknowledges. Yep.
You can't see the whole thing, but.
Yeah. Excalibur then acknowledges the Black Lives Matter movement going on right now. Again, thanks, Excalibur. Code of Honor is observed. We get a handshake, get a Cody match, meat and potatoes and all. JR questions if Cody is 100%. Quinn catches Cody with a dropkick after attempting the cutter. Quinn is selling the ankle because he was lightly injured from it 2 weeks ago, which that's crazy. Like something that happened 2 weeks ago is going into a match 2 weeks later. That is a sight for sore eyes. Romero special from
storyline.
Yeah. Romero special from Cody to a Dragon Sleeper. Quinn attempts a springboard but falls because of his ankle. Cody continues to work the body part but walks into a kick and a Quinn comeback. Salida del Sol-like move from Quinn to Cody. Quinn just bounces 3 feet in the air off of that. Standing shooting star from Quinn for a 2 count. JR wants Tony to get Quinn's haircut. He said, you would look all youthful and spry with that, which, Photoshop people. Not me.
Get on it, guys.
Get on it. Corkscrew into a DDT for a 2 count. I thought that looked amazing. Over the top rope dive and tope by Quen, still paying for it with the ankle. Quen dives over the top. Again, to Cody. 450 splash on the ramp to Cody. Quen then tries the shooting star, but Cody catches him with an ankle lock and a grapevine for the submission victory. And win. Cody retains the TNT Championship. What did you think of this match?
It was a good match.
Yeah,
better than expected, but
yeah.
I mean, what's his name? Was it Mark Quinn? He seems like he's pretty used to working as a tag team. He's seems like he's coming out on his own as a singles wrestler.
Again,
Seems
another
like
argument. Yeah.
I'm sorry. He seems like he needs a little bit more time to grow, and this was a chance for him to grow and learn a little bit too. So it's good.
Again, another argument for house shows, which I think due to the fact with this pandemic going on, there might be a chance for house shows to come back.
I will say this. WWE was losing money on house shows. So, I mean, it really depends, I guess, on where you book your shows.
But you think it'll even out with the money that they'll make? I mean, it'll be a very long time since they can run house shows at full capacity, but I mean, they've been drawing house shows for less than 4,000, so might as well. But yeah, if they're losing on house shows, I don't think it's going to happen. But I do definitely see AEW making a case for it. I know they don't want to, but
I think
yeah,
they need to work contracts out with independent wrestling promotions.
That would be that would be ideal.
Yeah, and just work their stars into and then even have some sort of thing where you can promote it as AEW star, or this is an AEW match. Like you can say tonight we're at APW, we're going to have an AEW ref in here. We're going to have an actual AEW match, for a number one contendership, a TNT title or something.
You think AEW gets a cut of that pay?
Well,
I don't think.
No, it wouldn't be on TV, but you would get these people just to be able to go out, and it would give the people more. Like, okay, it's like when I went to APW and Cody was the Ring of Honor champion. They decided, hey, let's make this a Ring of Honor championship match right now.
You think that'll go into their record?
Yeah, no, it should. That's what I'm saying. It definitely should. But it's just like doing house shows, at that point.
There's plenty of ways to go about this.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mark Quinn, I think he's definitely he's very green. But I thought he really, really showed up tonight because he had to. This is the biggest match of his career, arguably. There was some hate, a little bit justified so, of why even bother doing a bunch of dive moves if you're selling the ankle. But I think the commentary really made a point where like this is all the off. No, but like you could definitely make the argument like the story of the match is that was the offense. That was the only offense Mark Quinn can do because that's what he's been doing, and you can also introduce the storyline of Mark Quinn trying to be a bit more versatile in his way because he's normally a tag wrestler who kind of works less twice. I don't know. I can't think of a better phrase than that. Because when you're when you're working tags, you're with another person, but
you don't work the entire match.
You don't work the entire match. Yes.
Exactly. It's math.
Anyway, post-match celebration and embrace from Cody, which I feel like is going to happen every time he wins.
The weekly Cody hug.
The weekly Cody hug. Here, come here, and then they just suck on his nipple for the come to mama.
There you go. You want me to send your check? Here you go. Have a good guys.
Yeah, Hager then walks on the ramp to stare down Cody, and I was just like, fuck, man, really? Hager then attacks Arn, in which Cody tries to stop, but is beaten by Hager. Hardy Party then come out with chairs. Santana and Ortiz and Sammy even things out. Sammy and Matt beat each other up. Cody then accepts the Hager challenge at Fyter Fest to close the show.
What?
Yeah, I don't like this matchup.
You don't like Hager?
I just don't like Hager. I don't know what they see. I don't know what they see in the guy. He's gonna lose anyway, so why waste my time with this? That dude is just a literal speed bump. I wish he was a speed bump, honestly. Okay, that's too mean.
Wow.
He's gonna come and listen, he's listening to this podcast. Is like, why does Michael not like me? You're a bigoted asshole. That's why.
I met him, and
I met him too. He's fucking huge.
Were you at that same show?
Yeah, Clash of the Cow Palace. He was against Jeff Cobb.
Oh, No, I
You
met
know,
him. I met him at a different show. I met him at a Halloween Hell show either before or after that,
you
and I took
know,
a picture with him in the ring.
man's gotta get paid.
Yeah, I guess. So,
I just, I
what
just
do you
think
think of AEW? Think AEW was fun this week? It's
it
always
was
fun.
it was pretty fun. It flowed well. I think the first hour was definitely better than the second. I, I, they're.
I
I'm
think more of
wondering.
their
No,
mid.
I'm just wondering, like the opponents for Cody within the next week, and
Everybody.
how much is he willing to be hold up? Like how long is he going to hold this title on if he's going to keep at this pace? Like maybe make matches some weeks make matches shorter than others. And is he going to main event every Dynamite? I mean, I know it's the TNT Championship, but then
Well, I definitely think he does need to have some matches where it's not. You're right. It's not going to be 15 to 20 minutes. Like he needs to have an opening match. This is for the TNT title, and it's just an enhancement match, just for somebody to get in there and get some time in the ring. You know what I
but
mean?
will he main event every Dynamite?
No, that's some. It would be
Okay.
opening match. I don't think it should. Will he?
Yeah.
I don't know. But I mean, it is. If he does, it is a little. It's a little stroking his own ego at that point. But I mean, TNT wants the TNT title at
And
the end of their TNT
they're
show.
on TNT. If this is the TNT Championship,
So,
God damn it.
yeah, heaven forbid the AEW title segment or
Yeah.
anything with that main event.
Yeah, it was a good show.
Good show. Good show.
If there was anything to, I'm trying to figure out things to go out of your way to watch. I mean, I guess the Cody match, the women's tag match was awesome. So was the FTR match, but that's all in the first hour.
Wow.
Just watch Dynamite. Yeah,
Well,
I recommend it. You won't waste your time.
from AEW Dynamite, we move on to NXT. Michael, did you watch NXT?
I did.
Okay. Well, good. Let's kick it off with Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, and Bobby Fish, the Undisputed Era, or at least 3/4 of them, coming down to the ring. Roderick Strong is still obviously and visibly disheveled and shook by what happened to him and Fish at NXT TakeOver in your house.
They were
Apparently,
in a trunk.
for 12 hours, apparently, we found out later.
That's not good.
That's not good at all. I mean, one would think, how long can two people breathe in a trunk? And one also thinks that every car
Food,
after like
air.
well, food, you can get by a while without food. But every trunk, I think, made after 2000 has like a switch in it on the inside that you can just pull and it
I mean,
opens.
that's how old-fashioned Dexter Loomis is, even though that car was kind of
Smart. I like that.
Yeah.
It was very, very recent, actually, it seemed. Cole says the era of him being champion shall continue, and will also give props to Velveteen Dream, and said on Sunday, Dream proved why he is one of the very best of NXT has to offer. But there's one problem to that. He's not Adam Cole, baby.
But your best wasn't good enough.
And Adam Cole's smarky smile to the camera was just the best thing I've seen in a while. I think I'm like, he just, man, I got like Ring of Honor shades of Adam Cole right there. I was like, damn, he's good. I forgot how good he was. Cole says, though, it doesn't freaking matter what's next for him or the Undisputed Era, because he's been the most dominant champion in this brand's history. Cole says nobody in NXT or WWE can beat him for the championship. He said, brings up Dexter Loomis, and Roderick Strong is distressed by this and says, everybody knows he hates being stuck in trunks, which is a play on words, I guess.
Who likes being stuck in trunks?
Or being shoved in trunks. Well, if you wrestling trunks, get it? It took me a second. He told him to calm down because he's going to go one-on-one with him later tonight. Adam Cole versus Dexter Loomis. Looking forward to that one. Backstage, we have Cole. He's calming down Roderick Strong. In walks Keith Lee and Mia Yim. So I wonder where they're going with this. I wonder if Keith Lee is going to be one of the next people for Adam Cole, because they are obviously hinting at something right there.
They're hinting like a billion fucking things for Cole.
They are, and I wonder where it's going to lead. So, but you know, they Adam Cole, Undisputed Era, they walk away, and Adam Cole yells, "In your dreams, big man!" and walks away.
It would be a shame if something happened to this title belt.
Oh, next up we have the Yimitless ones versus the Garganos.
Wait, was Was that really what they were called?
Hold on. It literally just started right when I said Gimmitless. My computer overloaded. My computer's not Gimmitless. I'm sorry. I'm just going to start with the Gimmitless ones. Next up, we have the Gimmitless ones versus the Garganos. And
are they really called the Gimmitless ones?
No, but they keep calling me a Gimmitless, and Keith Lee is the Limitless one. So why wouldn't they be the Gimmitless ones? Right?
Go on.
Okay.
Go on.
We had recording errors, and I just need to make sure. Okay, it's recording. Okay. So the couples start out with intense arguing inside the ring. All of them just yelling at each other. You and you and you.
Why you?
Right. It was a mixed tag match. So obviously the men are facing the men and the women are facing the women. Well, the women can beat up on the men, but the men can't beat up on the women. Which, I mean, I don't really care.
It's a line. There's a blurred line in that regard.
Lee still working the injured hand. Lee and Yim almost go for the kind of AOP double powerbomb spot, but they don't complete it, which I thought was kind of a letdown, because to see them do, what was that called? The last chapter? Where they did
last page
or something like that. Yeah. Where they would hit the two power bombs together and then slam them down. They did that to Gargano and Yim. Mia Yim does a very good dragon suplex to LeRae. Gargano tripping up Mia Yim to break up the count. Yim beats down on both of the Garganos, delivering German suplexes to both. Yim then knocked out of the ring when Lee pounces on Gargano into LeRae and Yim. Lee is so distracted by this that Gargano hits a kick to Lee's head, hits the inside DDT to Lee on top of Candice LeRae. And, Keith Lee being the good guy that he is, he picks up Candice LeRae to take her out of the ring for medical attention. Of course.
You ever read a Spider-Man comic, The Death of Captain Stacy?
No.
It's a really iconic cover of just Spider-Man just holding Captain like the police chief, Captain Stacy, where it's just like, what have I done, or what happened here? Yeah. That's what I thought.
Well, I mean,
Jose would know what I'm talking about.
This is something that's happened in wrestling. This is like Hogan. Remember Hogan falling on Miss Elizabeth, or someone falling on Miss Elizabeth, carrying her to the back. There's always someone carrying someone else. But Keith Lee picks up Candice LeRae, and that's when Johnny Gargano goes for the roll up. And he goes for the roll up and completely knocks Candice LeRae out of the ring to the outside of the ring, and her body is just motionless at this point. Gargano gets the pin and the win on Keith Lee, which is completely backwards to me. Because they just had their match at TakeOver, so why?
They shouldn't be having this match in the first place.
Yeah, so they should move Keith Lee on to whatever's next.
It's just something you normally wouldn't expect from
unless Gargano
NXT
and over. So.
Like, again, this is the stuff that I'd expect from the main roster, but it's stuff that I normally wouldn't expect on NXT to just immediately have that rematch. Which, in regards to that In Your House, I liked it. Thought it was okay.
Okay.
Lower tier. It's among the lower tier takeovers, but then
that's probably the worst takeover I've ever seen.
Through no fault of their own, honestly, from elements out of their control. But I just didn't think the matchups weren't just as hot on paper.
Damian Priest and Finn Balor was really good.
They overachieved.
They really did. Then Gargano gets his wife and carries her out, Weekend at Bernie style.
She did not regain consciousness at all.
At a certain point, you'd think Gargano would be a little worried, but no, he just carries his wife out.
They won!
So, and next up, speaking of Damian Priest, and a very awkward segment, Damian Priest this was not Mackenzie, I don't think.
Dude, they have not. They do not give those announcers names at all anymore.
There's Mackenzie. We know her now. She has a name. But yeah, no, I think you have to be there about 6 months to get a name.
Yeah, you have to earn your name.
She asks Damian Priest if he would have done anything different in his loss and to Finn Balor. He goes, "Oh, hell no." Oh, okay. He says, "This match was more than about wins and losses. It was about my name living forever." Priest
this was an indictment to wins and losses mattering in the WWE. I don't know what is.
Priest starts to walk away, but stops and looks back at the interview and says, "You're gorgeous, by the way." Like, what is this?
It's supposed to. It's supposed to.
Somebody fall asleep and then wake up thinking they were writing Humberto Carrillo, or not Humberto Carrillo, but
Angel Garza.
Angel Garza segments.
This was a face turn for Damian Priest. He said he was more or less humbled by the experience of being beaten by Finn Balor, but I shall get back up. It was the rub. I paid my dues. He was scripted to win. He didn't say that, but
I took the loss. I did the job. And what are you doing after the show? Me and Balor are going to go grab some food.
You want to go in my limousine? We can go out and bow and arrow hunting.
And one thing that proved that he's turning face was the tone of his voice. You know, he wasn't
the same as it ever was.
No, it wasn't.
He can only speak in one tone, which is this.
Speak like this, but now he's speaking more like this, more fast paced, and seems more of his actual cadence.
Yeah, and Damian Priest, I feel like he doesn't get the credit that he deserves. Sometimes he's lightweight underrated, but this was. As said by Triple H in that conference call post-show, this was a coming out party for Damian Priest. Not that coming out party, but
okay. So
you want the world to show. Gotta let him know.
Gotta let him know. Mackenzie backstage with Cameron Grimes. Grimes says he isn't worried about his match tonight with Finn Balor because he says his name is Cameron Confident Grimes.
It's my middle name, man. He is the new Heath Slater.
He is. Speaking of Heath Slater, he's going to Impact, by the way. Did you hear that?
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, let's see. He says he's not worried about the match, but he seems a little worried. He says, I don't know why William Regal had to book the match.
Look, and let me tell you about that Cameron Grimes fella. He is super stupid. He lost the match, and if he was around, I would beat him up just because the way he looked. And he's definitely not behind me, huh? No.
Well, no, Damian Priest just walks and he goes, "Hey, Damian Priest," he says, "good on your match with Finn Balor. I mean, you didn't beat him and all, but I mean, you did pretty good." And that's when he gets punched by Damian Priest, and Damian Priest walks away. So yeah, definite.
No, he says, "Oh, do go on, Cameron Grimes."
Oh,
well, I don't know what they're doing with Cameron Grimes. Like honestly, like the way I think this is just a way to show him a little bit more personality than just Carnival Man with that hat of his.
That hat of his.
He's good at it. He's honestly kind of good at it, but then he might suffer the Kurt Angle syndrome of being too good at it to a point where it defines him.
Yeah, I can see him win that North American title one day. Not off of Keith Lee, but off of somebody.
I just hope they see what they have in him, and they kind of do, considering the type of matches they put him in.
Yeah. Well, to me, it seems like they're shuffling a lot of people around, so we'll see where everyone kind of ends up. Next up, Indus Sher versus the incredible team of Mikey Delbray and Mike Reed.
Mikes.
Yeah, the Mikes. Mikey and Mikes.
Is there a finishing move called the Mike check?
No.
Because they never get to use it because they're fucking jobbers.
I want to be like Mike, actually. But no.
I wouldn't want to be like Mike's in this particular match.
No. It was a jobber match.
That's it. They win. Malcolm Bivens. He just goes on looking like Malcolm Bivens.
I like Malcolm. I'm starting to like him now. He's starting to.
Yeah, managers. They're great.
Yeah.
And he's cool. Follow him on Twitter. He's funny.
Next up, Drake Warts, who I'm starting to believe is number 2 authority figure at NXT.
Yeah, he's just the middleman.
I'm starting to think like he's
a secret general manager.
He's like the assistant general manager. I'm starting to think
he's the figurehead. He's the guy. Again, middleman, where he's just. He is the go-between when shit gets done. Like he's the one that
Eagle. They're acting up again.
Hey, no, put the camera right next to him.
Drake, he's on Zoom or FaceTime or whatever the fuck they're talking on. Telling him Cameron Grimes says he can't compete due to a broken jaw. Regal, like you said, he says I want to speak with him immediately. They walk over to Cameron Grimes. Grimes is flirting with a couple of young ladies. It's
like he says his jaw hurts, and so he's
my jaw doesn't hurt.
No. The thing is, when he's talking to the women, he's just hey, lady, hey, pretty ladies. And as soon as William Regal has to talk to Cameron Grimes, he immediately just sells the jaw. Like, oh no.
Yeah. Well, because Drake is like, let me talk. Yeah, it's a dumb segment, but basically he has to compete tonight later in his match. He's not
I
getting.
don't want to call it dumb. I thought it was
It was funny, but it was a little dumb.
It was a way to show Cameron Grimes the like I said earlier, it was a way to show Cameron Grimes' personality, and I think he has it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think he should have been selling the jaw a little bit more. Like, I think when he was talking to the women, he could have been a little bit like, "No, my jaw doesn't hurt at all." But nonetheless,
it was a thing for Cameron Grimes, and it's better than nothing.
Next up, we have a Breezango video package. They talk about
this was weird.
I kind of enjoyed it
in kind of a good way, but then it was just an interesting direction to take these guys.
So they're talking about all the different costumes they've dressed up as. Like, we dressed up as firemen one time. Oh yeah, putting out fires. That was fun. We dressed as construction workers. Oh yeah, we made some stuff. Yeah.
They just talk the same way. They kind of have that little chic going on.
They're talking about, how they became actually the joke. They said we issued out too many fashion violations and became the joke of the SmackDown locker room.
We go in the locker room and then they just say, "Hey, funny stuff." I'm laughing and all this stuff, but
they talk about Breeze. Breeze says, he goes, "I'm 32 years old." Fandango's like, "I thought you were 27." No.
So what this segment was pretty much
where they came from.
Was pretty much you ever watch Arrested Development, that picture of Job with a bunch of his magicians, and there's a sign saying "We demand to be taken seriously." Yeah, this was this segment.
Yeah, so they're talking about where they came from. They saw about Fandango debuting at WrestleMania against Question Mark. And
Question Mark from NWA Power.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
no, it was Jericho.
Question Mark is a wrestler also.
Oh.
But I thought that was interesting. They mentioned his WrestleMania match, and I immediately thought, against who? Against who, WWE? Against who?
Talk about Breeze taking on Finn, Apollo, and Jushin Liger in NXT.
And I was immediately reminded, that fucking happened.
Yeah. Liger in NXT. So next
WWE
week,
Hall of Famer, Jushin Thunder Liger, by the way.
Was that ever fully commenced? I don't think he's official yet.
I don't know.
They never held a ceremony, so we'll see. Let's see. Next up, we have Ciampa leaving TakeOver last Sunday, not taking any questions, and he's so sad. It's very sad.
One must question the future of one Tommaso Ciampa.
Will he be slapping his thighs on SmackDown Live on Fox? Randy Orton, him. He's going. He might. There's talk of him going to the main roster, man.
He had a really, really big stance on not going to the main roster. So
when there was house shows,
that's true. I mean, but there's
they stay in one place. It's essentially the exact same thing.
You might think, one must assume he might have quelled on that rule a little bit.
Yeah.
Don't rule anything out. If he goes to the main roster, I think he'd be better on Raw.
I'm saying this. If he goes to the main roster, I'm going to the main roster.
Yeah. But, I could see him on Raw. He'd fit better on Raw.
Then we have Rhea Ripley and Mackenzie backstage. In walks Robert Stone. That's a mouthful. With Rhea Ripley. He's trying to recruit her for the Robert Stone brand. She says there's 1 in a million chance of her ever joining the Robert Stone brand. And
Lloyd Christmas himself says.
So there's a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance. Yeah, that's a Dumb and Dumber reference.
That is. And she goes, "Walk this way with me." He gets really excited. She punches him in the gut, slams him into a garbage can. So
he landed head first into that garbage can. I was just like, Jesus, Rhea.
I think she's going to go heel again and join the Robert Stone brand.
By slamming him into that container, that was her endorsement?
Yeah, because that wasn't her endorsement, but she's going to know that she can push him around and get whatever she wants from him.
What leverage could he possibly have?
And he I don't know. He'll figure out something. It's not leverage. He'll figure.
But what do you think Robert Stone can contribute to the elevation of Rhea Ripley's career?
Oh God.
Kayfabe wise.
Getting her a title shot against Io Shirai.
But it's Robert Stone. The brand is not strong with Robert Stone. What makes you think they'll? No.
Well, I don't know. You don't know what favors Regal has to offer.
Just say that you're wrong, Corey.
No, never. Next up, we move on. Finn Balor, Cameron Grimes. Oh, these two go back and forth exchanging strikes. I'm not wrong.
Did the Io Shirai video happen at this point?
Oh, I believe so. Yeah, the one.
Okay, yeah, because I want to talk about that because it showed video because it had the Poppy music video, but it also had there was a. And then there was also a shot of Morrow doing commentary as it happened, and then you see pretty much what his house. He was on with headphones, with iPod headphones on, and I'm just thinking, like, what are the logistics of him calling a live pay-per-view from his home?
His neighbors must hate
like
him.
You think, like, did he have a freaking? Does he have a special feed? Because I would think there would be a delay. And so, does he just get a special feed where there'd be no delay? It would just be completely 1-1. Where is he?
He must have really good. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Like, this had to have been worked because, like, he can't be getting that type of audio using just his laptop.
If he's recording well, I don't know.
Because he records on commentary from his home studio, so it had to have been a work. Yeah,
they get pretty good at my work at my job. I work at a radio station.
And using only a laptop and his headphones.
Well, they're doing some sort of remote broadcasting. I know they have a little bit of a setup. So
yeah,
I don't know.
He had no microphone, but
they're doing live shows. So
yeah, it was gimmicked. But then you also see the live reactions of a bunch of other people at homes. Like you see the guy you always see in the front, the bald guy that you always see in the front row.
Yeah.
Fans.
Fans. Fan reactions. Yep. I was hoping to see us, but we did not.
Okay, we didn't. Yeah. They didn't have a montage of people doing on their video podcast critiquing the show. Like, yeah, no, that triple threat match was awesome. Thank you for the $20 bill, Vince McMahon. No, Paul Levesque.
Balor versus Grimes. Like I said, solid match. But these two men, I can't help to think what they would do at an actual real takeover show.
It was a great match, honestly. I think Cameron Grimes just straight up farts out above average matches. Like
same
it's
goes
nothing.
with Balor. I mean,
I think Cameron Grimes to a bigger extent. Yeah. I think I want to see. I want to see him fly, but he's a peacock. You got to let him fly.
Got to let Peacock fly. Balor misses the coup de grace, which I thought was the end of the match for a moment. Grimes tries to take advantage of Balor, but quickly powers out. Reverse 1916 to Grimes, followed by a kick out. Coup de grace 1916. Balor gets his win back over Cameron Grimes. Like you said, it was a great match. I thoroughly enjoyed every time these two get in the ring.
Some might say match of the week.
I would say match of the week, yeah. I definitely wrote that in my notes. But I didn't. But I thought it. So Post-match. What? Something happened post-match? What are you talking about?
He goes to the camera and he says, "I'm coming for you, Keith Lee."
Oh, I didn't. That's weird.
He totally said that.
Okay.
He totally said that, and now interesting that he's going for the North American title.
A title I've not had that title yet. I guess in Ireland and not North America.
I guess he's trying to. What is it? Like, what are those contests where if you collect all
Grand Slam champion?
Like just these certain stamps. If you complete the stamp, you get a free card or something.
Stamp card.
It's not a stamp card, but then it's just more like
he's trying to get his free cheese stick. Buy 6, get 1 free.
But then that's of the same thing. There were these contests.
That will not apply in NXT. You can get different titles.
Yeah, I guess because he wants a title that he never got, so he's trying to complete the trifecta, which kind of makes sense. I'm hoping if that's the case, I can see Balor taking the title off Lee, so Lee can go for the NXT title.
Yeah.
But then as we go deeper, we'll get
there. Next up, Timothy Thatcher apparently is going to open up his own wrestling school in NXT starting next week.
Ooh.
So we'll see what happens there.
The class is in session. Is he just going to be a teacher gimmick? Are we getting Matt Stryker again?
He's going to choke out PC people every week.
It's going to be the Jeff Jarrett MMA school again.
Daniel Puder comes into the ring.
Oh my God! And he actually gets him in a Kimura lock.
Next up after that. No, I'm sorry, I forgot. I skipped Casey Kinsella versus Dakota Kai. How could I?
Dakota Kai wins.
She does win. And after the match, Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai beat down on Casey. When Kaden Carter comes out, to which Morrow says, "Oh, Kaden Carter, her partner." Like he says it like 3 times. Never knew they were partners. Apparently,
Well, why would they be associated with them, Corey?
Oh, I don't know. Okay, next up, El Hijo del Fantasma. He comes out to the ring. He begins to talk in Spanish. But now comes Drake Maverick, who also has new theme music this week. Which I really liked his old theme song. I really enjoyed it. That one? Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
So bad. It was great.
Flavor Flav.
Drake.
How low can you go? Death row. What a buffalo.
He wants to congratulate El Hijo, or he wants to congratulate Fantasma and thank him for his match last week. Says that he says last week everyone was talking about my situation, but they should be talking about you, Fantasma. Drake says now that he's an NXT wrestler, he says, I know I can beat you, Fantasma, and challenges him to a one-on-one match for the Cruiserweight title. Fantasma says yes. Well, he says see, and then out comes
Which means yes. Which means yes, Corey.
Yes, it does. See, it does. Out come the luchadors who've been kidnapping people or trying to kidnap people left and right for weeks. They circle the ring. Drake and Fantasma are in the ring together, back to back, and then Fantasma turns around and headbutts Drake. Everyone beats down on Drake Maverick. Everyone removes their masks. The luchadors reveal themselves as Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wilde, which begs the question, who kidnapped them?
The Dark Order.
Okay. Did the Dark Order do like...
Think about it. This is totally the Dark Order.
Goons for hire? Yeah.
I did not make that comparison until like 30 seconds ago. Like, wait a minute. Guys who
Dark Order.
who like take people against their will in a certain extent, even though Cole Cabana did it through his own volition. But then people in masks, but then they reveal that they're not the masks, and then they remove, and then Joaquin Wilde and
they look good too.
Raul Mendoza. Mendoza. They removed their masks, and what else happened, Corey?
And that's when Fantasma removes his own masks.
Fantasma unmasks.
He says, he looks at the camera and without a microphone, he says, "I am Santos Escobar. I am the NXT Cruiserweight Champion, and no one can stop me."
Quick, Corey, give me 2 Spanish names.
Juan and Eduardo.
Juan Eduardo. Good. All right. You're getting a WWE contract. Go.
Yeah, Road Dogg. 2 Spanish names. Well, I was
Santos and Escobar. Go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he took off his mask. He is now Santos Escobar. He got the back of Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wilde.
And he's a good-looking man, but then you would make so much more money if you kept that mask. But I guess no, it would be so much cooler if he actually kept that mask on, paint it dark, but then wear suits every week, because luchadors on suits is the all-time look. It never fucking fails.
It is. That was
why?
When it was always a suit.
Why can't we ever have a meaningful like masked wrestler in WWE? That's not Rey Mysterio, and even then, that dude, they're pushing it with him.
Well, some people say that you really can't connect with masked wrestlers.
What?
Yeah, like Sin Cara. Like people said you couldn't. I'm talking WWE audience.
Stupid. Of course you can. You can bet you make so much money off of that.
Next up, we have
look at Jushin Thunder Liger. You think that guy doesn't connect with an audience?
Oh God, I want to buy one of those masks from TotoCon so badly. They're like $500 though.
Should.
Next up, Undisputed Era in their war room, and Dexter Lumis apparently left a painting of him murdering Adam Cole and Bobby Fish. So I don't know if that's premeditated murder now or what, but if they wind up dead, he can go away for a very, very long.
Because that's what happens when you die. You just kind of go away until you're called back up again.
Yeah, until you're called to the main roster.
Yeah.
Next week we have a tag team championship bonanza. We have Shotzi and Tegan Knox versus the winner of the Backlash match.
Show.
Yeah, the winner of the Backlash match for the women's tag team titles, and Imperium versus Breezango for the NXT tag team titles.
Taking knocks gets to be against the tag team champions. Oh yeah, we're getting the tag teams against these guys. Whoever wins the backlash.
And congratulations, Shotzi, on becoming an uncle.
What?
She said it herself in her post. Her sister.
I'm an uncle.
Yeah.
That sounds like Morrow in this impersonation.
Dexter Lumis versus Adam Cole, the main event time for NXT. The two exchanging strikes, and this is a match. I mean, I can't really say much about it.
What's his appeal, dude? What is Dexter Lumis's appeal?
He's looking a little better. I will say that,
especially as a baby face, like that character. Like, why are you giving me a reason to root for Dexter Lumis, the suspected serial killer against? Go on.
He's looking a little better, hitting a pretty solid German suplex to Adam Cole at one point, and a sidewalk slam to Adam Cole. Like I said, every week, give him more time, he's going to look better and better. So eventually, Adam Cole goes for the Panama Sunrise, but Lumis locks in the triangle sleeper hold when Cole, like I said, was going for the Panama Sunrise. Bobby Fish distracts the ref. Roderick Strong hits the enziguri on Lumis. Last shot to Lumis. Adam Cole gets the pin and the win. After the match, the Undisputed Era, they're trying to leave. Adam Cole goes back to gloat over Dexter Lumis, but Lumis locks in the hold again. Undisputed Era come back out to fight. Dream comes out to help. Everyone leaves, so it's just Adam Cole in the ring. So lights go dark. Spotlight on Cole. Spotlight on the ramp. Out comes Scarlett Bordeaux.
I was going to say out Trinity from the fucking Matrix.
Scarlett comes out. She walks the ring.
She looked like she could barely breathe.
Oh,
in that latex.
It actually
is that latex? What material is it?
I believe so.
Yeah, and she's just like she just has this smile on her face because she knows it. I can barely walk.
She took a sand timer in the middle of the ring. And
yeah, because she's a big Prince of Persia fan.
And it begs the question: is Adam Cole's time as NXT champion coming to an end?
What could you have possibly have made that assumption, Corey?
Karrion Kross has put his mark on Adam Cole, and it's funny because, man, people are going to see Adam Cole as a babyface. I know he's not playing that, but everyone loves Adam Cole so much, and Karrion Kross is like this, like evil, like he's a heel, right? Karrion Kross is a heel.
Yeah, you would look at that man. You would look at the way he's just so fucking angry all the time. He's Psycho Sid. He's pretty much Psycho Sid.
Yeah.
But with a girlfriend. But and with no hair. I don't know, man. Karrion Kross, I feel like they try too hard with that. And I feel like I said this before. I feel like they try too hard with him.
Yeah. Well,
it's like it's a bit overindulgent. Not over. Yeah, I would say overindulgent.
NXT champion. So, in my opinion,
yeah, I don't think he should lose. What? And then but then I also don't think he should go straight to the title match as well. I think you should build up to that.
I think what's going to happen is he's going to beat Adam Cole for the title, and I think you're going to see Finn Balor beat Keith Lee for the North American title, which leaves Keith Lee to be the face against Karrion Kross.
Or Keith Lee could just move up because he's not getting any younger.
Well, no, he would give him some time with Karrion Kross, at least for the NXT title, have him lose, and then go to the main roster.
Yeah, because I think there should be call-ups more. There should be more call-ups with NXT because.
But then, what are you going to do in NXT? They can't. Who are you going to put in their place?
They got 1 million people. They got 1 million people there.
Do they? It's coronavirus season, like who do you have at
okay say this COVID thing passes by and
once everything's back to normal, yeah, for sure, then you're gonna have Sami Zayn and you're gonna have everybody back on the main roster. So to me it's just like, unless they start to sign more talent,
we'll see, man. I just feel like they're about due. I think.
And
the thing is, I know Ciampa and Gargano are just dead in the water the second they hit the main roster, but they gotta. I feel like NXT, they just gotta make room for new blood.
Well, you know what would be good for Gargano? Remember how McMahon
to not anything but his character right now? Yes.
McMahon really wants to do that Mighty Mouse character, and he didn't get to do it with Shorty G, and that would be great for Johnny Gargano. I think on that note, we're going to end things today, Michael. Guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe at CWR4 and 5 Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You want anything before we go, Mike?
No, I'm still choking on my own rage here.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys later. Have a wonderful day. Oh, yeah, and don't forget.
The PlayStation reveal. The PlayStation 5 games are coming out.
Monday,
Not coming out.
Monday, me and Jose will be back here on YouTube. We're going to be talking Backlash.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be fun.
I was not good enough for Backlash?
You know what? Jose gets the call for Backlash. So, all right.
I
guys,
know. Y'all kill it.
Like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you guys later.
Yeah, no, it'd be great to finally figure out, oh, wow, I can't believe they actually did have the greatest match of all time. Or ever.
What did he say in a tweet the other day? Yeah, I think he's joking about it now. He's like, I just had the greatest sandwich of all time. Edge. Guys, we'll see you guys later. Bye.